Hello, my friend. The most glorious day, was it not? Um, I got a recipe here for you. We're about to have a little dinner here before we settle down. I'm going to watch a spiritual video. Hell, I might even be in the mood for something cinematic. I don't know. Usually I watch spiritual videos about 6 nights a week, and then I'll treat myself to something cinematic. I got this movie with Julia Roberts in it, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that I found at the lodge the other day, so maybe I'll watch that. We never know. But anyways, I just wanted to give you something practical because I know a lot of times it's the salad thing. It's like everybody knows how to put together a salad, but dressings. I mean, you'll be raw food, but then you'll be eating all that Newman's dressing, which is like, up there, but it's still not really what you want to be doing if you want to be eating clean. Annie's dressings, they'll get you you'll be kind of strung out on those. What you want is pure, whole dressings made out of fresh fruits and herbs, right? So I'm going to give you that right now. This is one of my favorites. What I have is I've got a couple of nice fat heirloom tomatoes, okay? So I'm going to slice those up in chunks, and I'm going to put those into the Vitamix. And then I've also got a nice little, a handful of just some cherry tomatoes that are nice and ripe out of the garden. So, pretty basic stuff here. This is a recipe that is like a staple. If you're looking for a good salad dressing, here it is. Tomatoes and orange juice. Okay, so usually I don't blend citrus fruits because sometimes the peels, not just the peels, but the inner white part, even the kind of the cellulose inside gets a little bit bitter. So I like to I'll just send them through the juicer and use the juice. So I'm going to put in 3 small oranges into this recipe, but the general gist is just orange juice with tomatoes. You can do orange juice and tomato juice. It's going to be a lot thinner, obviously, but I usually end up using just the juice and then blending the tomatoes into that. And then once you have that as a base, which is a pure base, I mean, tomatoes and oranges, and the two have always gone very well for me as far as digestion and flavor. I'm sure that somebody out there has a rule about mixing oranges and tomatoes. I don't know. Personally, I don't think I've ever read about that, but you know how it is out there. There's some kind of rule against everything. This just works for me, and I'm sure it's going to work for you because it's absolutely delicious. Now, what I'm going to do is I was looking in the garden for some fresh herbs. I didn't really find anything that I thought was going to work. There was some cilantro over there which will work. Cilantro you could put in this. I just decided to go with the orange, tomato, and then what I've got here is a little bit of some dried dill. So for me, this is sort of like cheating, right? If this is your cheat, using dried dill in a recipe, you're doing okay, right? So it's just sitting in the cupboard, and this is like the first dried thing that I've had in like 2 weeks that isn't absolutely fresh, but it's sitting in the cupboard and I'm inspired, and so I'm treating myself. So if this is your gourmet cheat treat to have tomatoes, oranges, and dried dill, then you're doing pretty good. And what I'm going to do is, well, I'll show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll just blend that up, and we'll talk about some variations for a second, and then we'll get out of here. And that's it. I mean, that's it. That's so beautiful. There's a dressing. Now, you could add olive oil, hemp oil. You could throw a handful of hemp seeds in there. You could throw cilantro, basil. You could throw some garlic, some sea salt. it's really infinite. I mean, I could go on and on here for another 20 minutes about all the things you can do with that base. I'm pretty sure that you're going to find this combination of oranges and tomatoes. Of course, those two foods are accessible year-round. The tomatoes are the best right now. They're in season. They'll be in season for another month or two. It's the summer. You could throw a hot pepper in there. You could throw some onions. I mean, like I said, the options are infinite. Anything, sage, basil, I think I already said that. So try that out and then add in some of your stuff and whatever you like. And you'll find it to be just an amazing dressing made out of fruits that will keep you off the other dressings that are less than the best. So again, you know, this is usually, very rarely do I just give out some practical content, but there you go. Thank you that I get to share this with you, and keep going and doing the raw thing, because, you know, I mean, it just makes sense, right? Raw foods just make sense. Let me tell you how that is. I look strong, but I can't get the lid off. So I'm just going to take kale and, oh my God. Mmm. Now this is raw food gourmet. Okay guys, thanks a lot. Peace.